Hello, my name is Reverend Dr. May Elise Cannon. Today is the end of the week, Friday, October 3rd, 2025. Today is day 728. Israeli forces are tightening the siege around Gaza City and will consider Palestinians who do not evacuate, quote, terrorists and supporters of terror. That's according to Israeli Defense Minister Katz today. Where are the Palestinians there supposed to go? There's roughly 500,000 Palestinians still left in Gaza City. Hospitals reported that Israeli fire killed 45 people yesterday, while the International Committee of the Red Cross, the medical charity, said it had been forced to suspend its operations in the area. I wanted to give you a quote, and I'll pull it out to read it exactly for you tomorrow, but I was meeting with Laura Friedman of the Foundation for Middle East Peace, and one of the things she was talking about is she said, we should not be talking about post-Gaza war plans. She said, when you do, you're actually being complicit. She said, because if we have the will, if we have the political will to come up with a plan for post-war Gaza, why? She didn't say in God's name, that's my addition. Why? If you have the political will to do that, do we not have the political will to bring an end to these atrocities? And when I think about Gaza City and the update I just gave, how profound that is. She said, so by talking and supporting post-Gaza war plans, you actually are saying it's okay to keep killing, it's okay to keep starving, and it's okay to finish the job. Finish the job means all Palestinians will be displaced from Gaza or they will be killed. And when I read updates like what I just gave you from Gaza City, and I hear things from Katz saying anyone that's left behind is a terrorist, which is such bullshit, I hear the words of Laura Friedman, and I'm saying in my heart and in my soul, may I not be complicit with that. I hope you make that commitment as well. Friends, this is no less than a genocide. Even my organization, we quote people calling it a genocide, and we'll talk about it being ethnic cleansing. Finishing the job means that all Palestinians in Gaza will be displaced or dead. And, you know, part of what's happening is the Israeli establishment is saying, how many can we kill today while the world will let it continue? This is a very, very clear goal, to displace the people and to confiscate the land. And if you don't believe me, listen to the Israeli leadership like Ben-Gvir and Smotrich. Like, this is not even this is not even like me telling you something that's not obvious. There are like blatant statements saying that that is the goal. God have mercy. Israeli forces today intercepted the flotilla carrying humanitarian aid. They detained dozens of activists. Israel said that the boats were approaching an active combat zone and that they were violating a law of naval blockade, while the global Samud flotilla said that the interception was unlawful and that one of the vessels was deliberately rammed at sea. I'll talk more about that in a bit. Israeli strikes and gunfire killed at least 57 Palestinians in Gaza yesterday. The number I gave you was 45 people killed in Gaza City alone, 57 people total in the enclave, 29 killed by Israeli troops in South Gaza, according to the Nasser Hospital. Separately, the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital said they received 16 dead from strikes. Mediators yesterday made contact with Izz al-Din al-Haddad, the head of Hamas's military wing in Gaza, who indicated that he would not agree to the ceasefire proposal as the plan is designed to destroy Hamas. I mean, Netanyahu has said that war aims of Israel will be accomplished even as he was putting forward the plan. And as we talked about yesterday, the eradication of Hamas has always been one of the goals, one that's been highly contested because most people would assert Hamas is an ideology, not just a military group. Many Palestinians in Gaza have voiced their support for the current ceasefire plan. This is according to interviews in Gaza. Some said the news of the proposal on Monday sent a rare flash of hope throughout the enclave. Others said it was clear that the terms Hamas would not agree to. Abdel Halim Awad near Deir al-Balah said that he would accept almost any price just to end the war, but that Hamas would not do the same. They don't care what the people think. If they cared about that, we would not be in this situation. Israeli forces yesterday blocked the road to Gaza City, which prevent those who had left the city in search of food or shelter from returning. This is the last opportunity for Gaza residents who wish to do so to move south and leave Hamas operatives in Gaza City itself, or to face the IDF's continuing full-scale operations. I will remind you that there are still people left behind in hospitals. There are still people left behind who are disabled, and that there are some who don't move because they can't move. The Trump administration has approved and released $230 million in funding for Lebanon's security forces. A State Department spokesperson said U.S. assistance is intended to support the forces as they work to assert Lebanese sovereignty in the country. That really means to defeat Hezbollah. Sovereignty over the country so that Hezbollah, the other military wing, will acquiesce, and to fully implement UN Security Council Resolution 1701. Other Middle East updates: an Israeli drone yesterday killed one person and injured 5 others in the south of Lebanon. Israeli strikes, just for you to know, and we've talked about these as they've been happening, Israeli strikes in Lebanon have killed more than 100 civilians in 10 months. There have been no reported killings in Israel from projectiles fired from Lebanon since the ceasefire last year. According to Arab mediators, Hamas has indicated that it is open to accepting Trump's peace plan for Gaza, but asked for more time to review its conditions. So the head of the military wing said no, but the negotiators said yes. Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey, have urged Hamas to respond positively or lose their diplomatic support. While Hamas expressed reservations in terms of the plan, discussions over these concerns were ongoing late yesterday. German authorities earlier this week arrested 3 individuals suspected of being Hamas members. 3 men are suspected of having procured firearms and ammunition in attacks on Israelis and Jewish institutions in Germany. I want to talk more about the global Samud flotilla, which was intercepted by the Israeli military. This sparked protests across Europe and South America today. More than 450 activists have been detained. And friends, here's an update from the flotilla's legal team, which Nadia Milleron, Ralph Nader's niece, asked us to share. Her 2 sons are a part of the flotilla. The lawyers were at the port at 6 o'clock in the morning. The hearings began at 1400. They ran for 15 hours straight. This was yesterday. Participants are in good spirits. Some are on a hunger strike. Participants did not get food or water for the whole day yesterday. Very few participants signed the request for immediate departure. If they sign the immediate release form and a delegation buys their tickets home, it would speed up the process. Without signing the request for immediate departure, Israeli law allows them to be held for 72 hours or 3 days. Today, diplomats are allowed to visit them. These consular visits are given priority, so the lawyers have to wait to get permission to be able to visit the participants. The deportation of all participants to London and Madrid has not been confirmed. Heads of delegations and lawyers have to consider the possibility and plan for a possible deportation through Tel Aviv, Jordan, and Egypt for their respective delegations. The lawyers did not see all the participants yesterday. Some were already processed without legal representation. The procedure has been much stricter and managed by the police. Participants were visited by 2 Israeli ministers, a male, the video was circulated, and a female. In the U.S., Trump issued an executive order earlier this week to guarantee Qatar's security and territorial integrity if the country is to come under attack. The order states that any attack on Qatar would be treated as a threat to the peace and security of the U.S. The creation of the new U.S. plan for Gaza ceasefire was prompted by Israel's failed attempt to assassinate Hamas leaders, with the U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East, Witkoff, and Trump aide Kushner deciding to use the widespread condemnation of Israel as an opportunity to end the war. According to U.S. officials, the failed Doha attack changed the regional dynamics. A U.S. federal judge this week dismissed a lawsuit that was accusing the UN aid agency for Palestinians, UNRWA, of allegedly allowing its funds to be diverted to support Hamas in the 2023 attack on Israel. The case was dismissed, so obviously in favor of UNRWA. Contrary to the position advanced by the Trump administration, the judge found that a part of the UN, as UNRWA, was protected by immunity and could not be sued. The lawsuit was brought on behalf of 100 Israeli plaintiffs, the estates of some victims, and at least one person whom Hamas held hostage. 2 updates about Christians in the Middle East. We are, or just from us, Churches for Middle East Peace, as we are Christians, we put out a statement today I wanted to call your attention to, condemning the attacks of the Samud flotilla, talking about how on the anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi's birthday and the International Day of Nonviolence this week, yesterday, the global Samud flotilla had 50 ships, 500 people, 44 countries. You know the story of its setting sail. This peaceful initiative has been met with violent aggression as Israeli forces have attacked the flotilla and arrested hundreds of activists. CMEP condemns these actions as illegal and immoral. Targeting 8 vessels is a grave violation of international law and an affront to the principles of human dignity and violence. So we've been calling on governments, including the U.S., to communicate these things. that the attacks on the boats constitute war crimes. Under international humanitarian law, civilian and humanitarian missions must be protected. I'm not going through all the details. I'm just summarizing. All those detained, as well as the ships and humanitarian supplies, must be released without delay. The siege of Gaza and the nearly 2 years of massacres against people must end immediately. For almost 2 decades, the blockade has deprived Palestinians in Gaza of the freedom of movement, access to essential goods, fundamental human rights. The international community must act now to bring this collective punishment to an end and to protect the lives and dignity of the Palestinian people, to protect the rights of all people in Israel and the OPT. As people of faith committed to peace and justice, we urge the international community to uphold the principles of nonviolence, protect those bringing aid, and take immediate action to end suffering in Gaza by calling for a comprehensive permanent ceasefire that includes a release of all hostages and those held unjustly in Palestinian prisons, supporting unfettered access to aid, humanitarian assistance, and addressing the root causes of decades of violence and atrocities. Finally, I want to close with the words of Jack Serra, the president of Bethlehem Bible College. He wrote an article about how Christian Zionism is destroying the gospel witness in the Middle East. This was published in Christian Daily, and this is what he said. The way forward is not hostility to Israel and Palestine, nor indifference to Palestinian and Jewish suffering. It is a call to a Christ-centered gospel witness that loves all people, Jew, Muslim, and every human being without compromise. We must reject end-time schemes that use people as props and return to the gospel that proclaims Jesus as the Lord of all. Only then will our love be genuine. Only then will our witness carry integrity before all of the nations. Only then will we embody the message of the kingdom: love, justice, peace, and the reconciliation of Christ. May it be so, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen.